Hello, my name is Arthur, and in the last video we put in a menu for our little application here and got that in place. And in this video we're going to go over to the toolbar. So to go over to the toolbar, I had to move my files off of the desktop and into a folder so that we can contain all of our icons. So we'll just close this up. So this is what I have for icons. From here on is for the toolbar, and this is for the tabs, which is, well, I don't know why this one displays so large and these two are displaying small. I'm not sure why that's happening. That's a little bit of a mystery to me. But these are my icons. I made them in GIMP, so I did my own icons up. Just made them using GIMP, and that's somewhat appropriate because of where GTK comes from, because GTK is the GIMP toolkit. So that's what we have going. Let's see. We have our text window open. In this video I'm going to go with smaller text because it's probably going to work out better where we can see whole functions on the screen at once. So in the first video we did make window. In the second video we did make menu. And now it's time to make a toolbar. So we'll make that function call right here in make window. So it's going to pass the V box again, but this time to make a toolbar. So we'll just call it make toolbar. We'll pass it V box. Oops. Like that. Let's double check this time. Last time we forgot the semicolon. So this one will be void make toolbar. It receives a GTK widget, and that widget is VBox. Give ourselves a little bit of space. So just like the toolbar, we're going to use a data structure. So we'll make a data structure here, and we're going to do the same thing as last time. We don't want to type out the whole array. So we're going to do a little bit of it, and then we'll copy and paste the rest of it into place rather than waste time doing that. So again, we'll define a type. So type def struct this will have 3 members to it, and we'll call this one TL button for tool button. And this one will have 3 chars. So we'll tab We'll notice that I've taken the toolbar off of my text editor and the bottom bar so that we can fit more text in. I'll make it easier to see and working in my smaller resolution like I am. So for chars, we're going to want, first off, a file name. We'll want a label. And then we'll do the tooltip. We'll get rid of the typo. And this typo. And bring this up. So now we'll make an array to go with that. Under that type. We'll call it tool list. Array equals and an open bracket. Let's get that right. And a closed bracket. So we start off with the file names for our menu, and we want to consider what order they're going to go in, and they'll have little groups. Now I did figure out how to do spaces in between my objects, so my different tools, but I didn't actually figure out how to make them draw. So I can put some padding in between the different groups, but I don't know how to make the line draw, and I worked at that, but I just couldn't for the life of me figure that out. So for now, we'll just leave the tool button there. So we start with the image files. So we're going to do them in the same order that they're done here. So we have new, open, save, undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, search and replace. So with the file names, we'll want to include the extension, the label name, and then a tooltip. So that looks good. We'll do the second one, which is open dot PNG. So my PNG files I mentioned before, I did them 24 by 24 pixels. It's a little bit of an odd size, I guess. But because this is a learning project, I will experiment with things just to see how they work out. So that looks good. The next one would be save. And a tooltip. Whoops. We should try to keep our spelling in order here. I could probably turn on spell check. I don't know if I have that on right now. So this is where we get to the separator. So what I came up with for the separator is just doing a comparison for the file name. So when the file name comes up as the word separator, it's going to put in the separator. So these ones, I just plunked some zeros into these fields. And I suppose they could just be empty quotes or... well, I'm not even sure that anything needs to be there, to be honest. So that's my structure. So we'll get 3 buttons that go together, the separator, and then we'll go on to the next 2 buttons, the separator, these 3, and the separator. So that outlines the basic shape. I have that down here at the bottom again. So we have up to the separator here. So we can just copy these out and not type all of that out. So we'll copy that out. I don't remember. I think I copied the tab. Yeah, I copied the tab. So that's my whole list. That gets us up to search and replace. So for this one, we'll use the formula to determine the size of the array. So let's see, what did we call it for the button? M limit. So let's call this one T limit. And for tool, so we would go int T limit equals size of tool list divided by, oh, let's get some space in there, size of TL button. So that should function the exact same way as just declaring it as a constant. We could just count them and declare it as a constant, but I thought it would be good to put in the formula to determine that. So that should come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 should be the result of that. So now we'll come down to make toolbar. So again, we start at the widget, toolbar, equals GTK toolbar new. One thing I did notice with the toolbar and the menu bar is kind of the way how they're different. So toolbar doesn't have the underscore, but menu bar has the underscore. So that one I don't really quite understand. That's almost as inconsistent as I am. Okay, so for that, we'll set the icon size. So GTK toolbar with no underscore. And that's got me a few times. Set icon size GTK toolbar comma GTK icon size, and we'll go menu, and I think that gets us the smallest selection. And yeah, some of the things I wish I knew how to make them smaller, especially when we get to the tabs, and that'll get clear. It looks pretty chunky. So the next thing we need is another widget, GTK widget, and we'll call this item again. Whoops. And we're back into getting to our for loop. I'll try to get this straight here. There we go. So we need an index. Let's get ourselves up here. Hopefully this will fit on the screen. So we do a for loop. We'll start off with the same thing, index equals 0, index less than, and what did we call that? T-limit. Increment that upwards. So the first thing we want to do inside of the for loop is the comparison. So in the first video, we put in our includes, so we included string. And this is the point where we start using string. So what we want to do is, if we want to compare the file name, looking for the word separator. So if string compare to a list, let's see, index dot file name, and we're going to compare that against the string separator, like that. And if that comparison returns 0, that means that they match. So if it doesn't match, it will return something that's either greater than 0 or less than 0. And if it matches, it will return 0. So if that happens, I'm not sure what's going on there. My tabs don't seem to be coming across right again. Sometimes that happens. I don't know why. So if that's what happens, we're going to turn item into a separator tool. So we'll go item equals GTK separator tool item separator tool item new. Otherwise, we'll turn it into a button. So else, on the else, we're definitely going to need some braces, some brackets around that. So we'll tab that in. So what we'll need is we'll need an icon. So GTK icon. GTK widget. Pointer to icon. Icon equals GTK image new from file. And well, this line is going to get a little bit long, I think. Tool list index dot file name. So yeah, let's check where that actually ended up. Well, we're still in our 80 limit there. So that makes the icon to give to the button. Then in this case, where the file name did not equal separator, item would get turned into a tool button. So we'll go GTK tool button new. In here we need to put null, comma, null. And I'm not even sure what values go in there. That would be something to look at the documentation for. I do know if you don't put null in there, that it's going to say there's not enough arguments for that. So now we'll set the icon. So GTK tool item set icon. Yeah, tool item set icon widget. And we have to go GTK tool button item comma icon. Then we need to do the tooltip. So let's see, GTK tool item set tool tip, GTK tool item set tool tip text. And in this one, I'm not actually positive this needed to be here. I'm pretty sure that we can just go item, comma, tool list, index, dot tooltip, and then it is back to signals. So we gotta hook up the signal, G signal. This one is GTK tool button. Whose name is item, comma, for a button it is clicked, and we're going to come down because this line will get awfully long if we don't. So G callback, I'm going to make the function call. That is still button click. Okay, oh, that's a mistake there. G signal connect. We got to be doing something with the G signal. There we go. And then we want to send the G pointer data. So again, we're sending the name of the button that was clicked, so the label. So that would be tool list, index, dot label. And that looks just about right like that. So that should make our buttons and put in our separators. Hopefully there's not a bunch of typos and stuff like that in here. So let's check our brackets, So now that we've made that stuff, this is the other side of the else statement, but still inside of the for loop. So we're still inside of the for loop when we insert the button or separator that we just created into the toolbar. So we're GTK toolbar insert. GTK toolbar. Toolbar is its name. We're inserting item. An item may be a button or it may be a separator, comma, -1. And yeah, I don't remember why -1. Not entirely sure on that one. We'll just let that go though. We'll go it's that way because it's that way. Let's put our semicolon back. Now, outside of the for loop, this is the end of the for loop right here. So outside of the for loop, we pack the toolbar into the VBox. So GTK container, GTK container, the container's name is VBox, The thing we're putting into the container is called Toolbar. And that looks good. So let's just go scan over what we just made. We have our commas in all the places. We're missing a semicolon right here. So make toolbar. We'll just look for semicolons that are missing. So for doesn't have a semicolon, neither does if. What's there? So that looks okay. Never know until I save that. So let's see. Well, that's going into that directory. We're inside of that directory. Alright. Ooh, and there we go with the big list. Oh, and it's a big list. Did you mean? Oh, there it is. Typo. Apparently we decided to subtract a new from that. Okay. So a lot of this will result from something like that. Oh, here's the problem. This is not a widget. This is a tool item. So yeah, when we're making toolbar buttons, they're not widgets at all. They're GTK tool items. So that's very important. That's not a mistake that will get passed. And probably a lot of that is coming from that. Oh, I have a typo in here. That will fix that. That probably gets us there. So yeah, those big lists, they look like quite a bit. Let's see. Implicit declaration, GTK tool button, set icon, widget. Oh, okay. I put item when it should be tool button. Where is that? Set icon, widget, tool button. See, we have it right here, tool button. So that should be the hint that this was supposed to be button, not item. So I learn almost just as much from debugging as anything. Okay, typo somewhere here. Ah, I didn't put the add in here. So GTK container add. Let it know what we're doing with the GTK container. So that should be getting close now. It's kind of part of my videos, isn't it? Going through a little bit of debugging. Well, that's reality. So that's what we got from our toolbar. That doesn't look so bad. So let's see if we get our click values. So we get click values here. We could probably change that to confirm that we're receiving the name of the button, but that gets us there. Yeah, the spacing on it is a little bit discrete without having the lines. So let's just compare up here. So I've never quite figured out how to get my buttons to quite come across the same. Let's compare them in size. So the buttons are actually they do look the same size. Just on the text application, there's less use made of the button, so the image that's going onto the button is really quite small, where my images are a little bit bigger and taking up more of the real estate. But the buttons are the same size. So yeah, when I look around in different forums and stuff for things related to GTK, I do see people asking, oh, how do I make this smaller? And yeah, sometimes the answer is rewrite GTK, basically. So in the next video, we'll look at getting our notebook into place so that we have a tabbed notebook. So we'll just have one page with a tab and the text view, hopefully. I think we can do all of that in the next video. So until then, I hope this was helpful and take care.